I ended up having the most bonkers dream, and I wonder if you can interpret it. I'm on a train. I've got all my guitar stuff, and for some reason I've got my guitar out on my guitar stand. I've got my guitar case. It's all stuff, and so I'm scrabbling to get everything off, and I miss the guitar. I actually jumped off the train a little bit early. The doors were open and I jumped off and then run after the train. But then there's two trains, sort of a diagonal to each other. I jumped on one of the trains on one of the platforms and was looking around for the guitar, but then I couldn't find it and I had to jump off again. You know, this is my guitar, so this is one of my prized possessions. I phoned the lost property and they were like really unhelpful, and they said it wasn't there. So I'm phoning up some of the stops along the way because maybe a nice member of the public has thought, well, there's a guitar just on its own, I'll hand it in when I get off. I phoned up and it was someone I knew from school, and he's like, come on, don't be phoning us at these little... We're paid far less than the people at the lost property. We're not going to know where your guitar is. I decided to go down into town again. I was at this kind of big reception desk and I'm phoning up the lost property, but actually from the railway place, you know, I'm phoning up. Again, they're being really unhelpful, and the girl on reception wasn't too supportive either. So in the end, I decided I'm going to go to the lost property place. There's all sorts of stuff there. It's like a massive cash converters, but in an office. I think I see my guitar, but it's not quite my guitar. It's like, this was like a black bass guitar, and I'm like, oh, I thought that was my guitar, but it isn't. And you'd see strings, but it'd be guitars just lying on shelves in the air, and it's like, oh, I thought that was my guitar, but it isn't. I'm getting really depressed at this point. I'm really down because I haven't got my guitar anymore. And Phil Thompson, Liverpool's European Cup winning captain, you know, he sat there with the guy who runs the lost property place in the railway station, and he's looking through a pamphlet and he says, well, you're just going to have to get yourself another guitar. I said, yeah, but I love that guitar. And he said, yeah, but we had to do this. We had to go through this as well. Whenever we changed our boots. I said, you know what, Phil, you're right. He said, oh yeah, let me introduce you to my wife, he said, oh, this is Alun Parry. He sings kind of like socialist type songs. Oh, I was quite surprised Phil Thompson even knows about me, to be honest. I thought, well, he's from Kirby, he's a working class lad, maybe he's into all this sort of stuff. And the next thing I know, I'm in this kind of everything's new but deeply impersonal, huge big sort of Lego-like buildings, and there was like a big store. On the way to the store there was a busker playing a guitar, not my guitar, so I was chatting to them for a little bit, and they said, well, come on man, there's all sorts of things going wrong in the world, what are you worried about your guitar for? And it kind of chimed with the advice that Phil Thompson had given me earlier. I suppose it is replaceable, really, and maybe I can even look at this as an opportunity. And so I was trying to look at it a bit more positively. And then I bumped into Tim Ferriss, you know, the blogger and the author, and he was teaching me how to wash using mud. He's like, no, water's bad for you, man. You're not meant to be washing with the water around here. You got to use mud. Washing with these is really good. So I'm getting these clumps of dirt and washing them because Tim Ferriss has said, you know, who am I to argue with Tim Ferriss? Me and Tim Ferriss are getting a wash with our mud and kind of squatting down at the side wall of this huge retail monstrosity. And the other thing he did, he gave me a weird Tim Ferriss-like drink. I had some of that as well. That was my dream. I met Phil Thompson. What do you think it means?